Good morning, Kurt. Hi, Leslie Ann. Nice hat. You and Bob can have a hat contest. Gretchen, hi, thank you. I like the music too. I'm doing a 5-minute countdown timer. Let's see, I don't think the music is 5 minutes, so we have to get longer music. Stick with this. And there's the other participant in our best hat contest. Okay, Leslie Ann's giving you a run for the money, Bob. Hard. Like the music is going to be real close here. Maybe it is longer than 5 minutes. I have an idea. I can make the countdown timer as long as the music. Well, here we are. We finished the music. We didn't finish the music before the countdown timer finished. So we're trying some new things. Welcome to Go for Lunch number 49. Glad to see you all here, as if I could see you. Glad to have you all here. If you're new, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you. My name is Roger Harmon with GoFor Technology, where we make your technology work for you. And that is exactly what we are doing today. Yes, we are. We're going to have fun today. So we're going to demystify the Finder. This is part of my Back to Basics series, you might say. When we first get our Macintosh computers, we kind of jump into the middle. This is the middle right here. And we do surfing, we do mail, we maybe do word processing, and that's kind of what we learn how to do. But we don't always find out the basics. We don't learn the basics. So part of the reason we're doing this is to give you a firmer foundation of how this miracle technology called the Macintosh and all its related systems work. And of course, the Finder is the basis for that. So we're going to jump in here. We're going to do some demonstrations, and I will hope that you will ask questions, and I will frequently check back to see what questions you might have. So, a little special announcement, as was noted in the GoFor Gazette, which comes to you every Monday morning around 7 a.m. I wanted to draw your attention to a special presentation at the Tucson Macintosh Users Group called TMUG, for obvious reasons. That's going to be a week from today on April the 20th at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And David Sparks, also known as Max Sparky, is going to explain his paperless field guide. So if you ever wanted to look at getting rid of the paper in your life and digitizing it and letting it store in a lot less space than it does now, this is the presentation for you. So please join us for our Zoom meeting next Tuesday, April the 20th, 7 p.m. as the Tucson Macintosh User Group presents David Sparks and the Paperless Field Guide. So let's talk about upgrading your operating system. So the current operating system is Big Sur. Our advice is not to upgrade to a new operating system until it's at least the .2 or .3. And to be safe, I say .3. So as you can see here, because I haven't updated to the latest version of Big Sur, I could update to 11.2.3. And I will probably do that after this program. You never update your software when you need your computer for any critical function. So after this, I'll probably do this update. So another reason I'm telling you this, besides the fact that everybody's asking me should I update to Big Sur, because unfortunately Apple keeps pestering you about doing that, and there's no easy way to turn off those notifications. So just wanted to check in with you and tell you. Now, that is the end of our special announcement. So we're talking about the Finder. So the Finder is the basic operating system of your computer. It helps you find and organize your files. The desktop, which sometimes is used interchangeably with the term Finder, desktop Finder, they're not really the same. The Finder is the umbrella over all these other things that we're going to talk about. So the desktop is part of the Finder. Then up there in the top of the screen is the menu bar, again another component of the Finder. And of course the Finder is what controls the movement of windows and icons. So that's kind of a brief definition of the Finder. So let's welcome a couple more people here. Hi Judy, glad you could make it. So let's look at the first part of how the Finder works. So the Finder allows you to change how your files are displayed. So you have four choices. You have icons, you have a list view, you have a column view, and you have a gallery view. So let's look at how that works. So here we are in our Mojave computer, because Big Sur has changed the icons on some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So I'm assuming that most of you are not on Big Sur. So we're going to use Mojave, which is the same as Catalina. So it will look familiar to you. And then down the road, we will look at doing a review and kind of pointing out the changes in. Hi, Deb. Glad you could make it. In Big Sur. So look forward to that maybe in a month or so when Big Sur 11.3 comes out. Okay, so you always want to keep a portion of your left eyeball focused on what it says up here in the top left corner of your screen, right to the right of the Apple logo, which we also call the Apple menu. Okay, so now it says Finder, so we're in the Finder. But if we went to on application, then it would change to the name of that application. In this case, it's Safari. So one of the functions of the Finder is to provide new windows, but you can also get new windows in various apps. So I have more than once had someone call up and say, I'm in Safari, but I can't do anything. There's no window in Safari. Well, it's because you closed out Safari using the little red dot, and you closed out all the windows in Safari, and that's why there's no windows left. So you don't want to close out the last window in Safari. And you don't need to close out Safari at all, because you're going to come back to Safari or your whatever web browser you are using. We recommend Safari for security reasons and for tight integration with other Apple applications. So if you do come into any application, be it Mail or Safari, and you get a blank screen and the window that you're expecting to be there is not, then all you have to do is go up to File and New Window. Now you'll notice the keyboard shortcut, cleverly hidden right here on the right of New Window, is Command N. N for New. So we could hit Command N, or we could go to File, drop down here, and now we have a new window in Safari. So one way to clear your desktop off without quitting your program is to go back into Finder. So there's several ways to get into Finder. You can click on the Happy Mac face here in your dock. And of course my dock is on the left hand side. So you could see it easier than at the bottom where it is in a default mode. So we could go here to the Finder. We're not quitting Safari, right? We're going to the Finder. Safari's still here. See, here's Safari there in the background. And we don't want that to mess up our screen, especially if you're on a MacBook with a smaller screen. So all you do is you go to the Finder in the menu bar. You click on the Finder. You go down here, which is usually the second to the last option from the bottom of this drop-down menu, and you choose Hide Others. And now you're in the Finder. Safari is still there if you need it, because you can see the little dot. You see the little dot to the left of the icon there? And again, I'm sorry I couldn't make this any bigger. It's as big as I can get it. That tells you what programs are operating. So that's how you get rid of things that you don't want cluttering your desktop without quitting them. So Mail and Safari, I would say you should just leave open all day, because you're going to be going back and forth from Safari to look at the web, to look at your mail, to look at the web. You get the idea. Okay, so we're going to talk about icons first. So when you get your Mac, it is usually defaulting to the icon view of your files or your application. So we're here in the sidebar on the left-hand side, and we are looking at applications. And a lot of you, we, whatever, kind of like this because it's real simple to find things because they're all so different. You know, these icons instantly tell us what we're dealing with. Of course, when we're in documents, it's not quite the same because, you know, one little representation of a document in icon view looks like almost any other document. So the next choice here, so we have all of our choices right here at the top left-hand corner of this window of how to display files. So the second one is the list view. You can see the three horizontal lines here. That's the list view. Now, I prefer the list view because it gives me more information. So not only does it give me the name, but it gives me the date modified, and I can add more information. So let's see how we do that. We'll kind of skip forward here to the view function. So we're back up here. We're keeping our eye on what program is active. So Finder is active, not really a program, but Finder is the component of our operating system that's active, and we can go to view right here, the third one over, fourth one over, depending where you count it from. So here we have another way to switch. So we can switch our view with these icons here at the top of the window, or we can go to view and do the same thing. Oh look, we have command key shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. So we can switch our views by doing command 1 for icons, command 2 for lists, command 3 for columns, and so on. But what we want to do here is to go down almost to the bottom and show view options. And this is where we can tailor what this looks like. So you can see that we have these checkboxes here under show in what columns we wanted to show. So these are, of course, columns here. And because there's only 3 of them checked, oh wait, there's one that says size and one that says kind, and we don't see those. What is going on here? Well, let's move that out of the way. So another thing the Finder does is allow you to resize your windows. And of course, you can resize it in several different ways. If you go to the side, you can either side, and you get the double opposing arrows. You can make it bigger. Oh, look. There's size and there's kind. They were hiding. So another way that you can customize what you're seeing is if you move your cursor real carefully at the beginning of one of the columns, you can adjust the size of the column to the left. So we want this to be closer here so we don't have that big blank space. So you can redo that. So now we're seeing all of our items that are checked down here. We're seeing date modified, size, kind. Okay. Well, let's say maybe we want to add something to that, so we can click here on date created. And there we go. Now we have not only the date modified, but the original date that that file was created. So another nice feature here from the Finder is we can sort by any of the labels on top of these columns. So all 5 of these labels are sortable. So right now we are sorting by the name. Now you see this little up arrow here to the right of the name column. That lets us sort either from A to Z or Z to A. So if I click on that, now we got zoom at the top, and I click again, and we're back to in alphabetical order starting with A's. But we can do the same thing here in date modified. You can see our dates are all mixed up here, but if I click on date modified, then today's changes come to the top. And pretty much your date created will be somewhat similar, but you can see a couple things changed. Now the size column can be handy if you're trying to figure out what's taking up so much space on your hard drive. So now I click on size, and the largest file here, which happens to be a recording of a Zoom meeting from TMUG, it's 1.02 gigabytes, comes to the top. Now Kind is a great tool for your downloads folder. So we're going to go back to the sidebar on the left hand side. We're going to click on downloads, and we are going to go to our list view, and we are going to click on, oh wait, where is Kind? Is it hiding over here someplace? No, it's, oh yeah, there it is. I see it. Okay. One of these days I keep waiting for Apple to bring out their Apple glasses, but I may have to get glasses before then. So let's, yes, as Leslie Ann commented, that is true. It's big, it's different in Big Sur, but again, we are assuming that the majority of people are still on Catalina or earlier. Hi, Carolyn. Okay, so let's look here at, so we're in downloads, and the thing about downloads is a lot of us ignore the downloads folder, even me, and it can get filled up with stuff. Where does that stuff come from? Well, anytime you get an attachment in an email, it automatically puts it in the downloads folder. That's where that stuff comes from. So you need to go into the downloads folder maybe once a month, maybe more often if you get a lot of attachments like pictures and things to your emails. And then the easiest way to sort out the things in your downloads folder is to click on the Kind column by clicking on the word Kind. And now all of the like documents are here next to each other. So see, here's some pictures. So here's some PDFs. Here's a plain text document. Sometimes you're going to get the compressed files that result in you downloading a new application. Those can be a PKG package file. They can be a DMG. They can be a zip file. You don't need those. So you can just get rid of those right away without even looking at them because they've been decompressed into the actual application. So that is what you can do by sorting here the different kinds of files. So I'm just going to touch briefly on these two other types of looking at your files because I don't recommend that you would use them. So here we are in the columns. So the way the columns work is we click back here in our sidebar to Documents, and we click on a folder. So let's click on this Zoom folder, and then we see what's in that folder in the second column, and then we click on a folder in the second column, and it shows us what is in that folder in the third column. And if we had more folders, you can see it could go on and on and on. So normally I don't use Zoom. The fourth one, who's that guy? Where did that come from? The fourth one is the gallery view. So the gallery view does give you some information, kind of like in the list view over here on the far right. If we move this in here, get a little more compact. So you can see it tells you when it was created, modified, the duration, because this is a video, so it would have a duration, and the date, and so forth. So that is the gallery view. So this is what we call a preview. So that would be kind of handy. So let's go back here to another different file here and go back to gallery up here. So I'm clicking on the fourth icon. Okay. So you can see if we have a document, then it gives you a preview of your document. Okay, and then it shows you what else is there. So this is a folder. If I double click on the folder, then that's what's inside the folder. Here's a graphic. Oh no, this is an app with a graphic attached. So it can be confusing, but anyway, that's what gallery view is. So let's look at our comments here, shall we? Okay. So Susan asks, or comments, that she always had the Finder in the column view because as a librarian, she likes to think about it hierarchically. I can't pronounce that. So I'm glad that we reminded you that there's other ways to do it. And Kurt commented that there's 9 people shown in the list. Watching now is 13. You'll have to ask YouTube about that. I show 13. So YouTube does things, as you know, from our board meetings. Oh, that's Facebook. YouTube and Facebook do things in strange and wonderful ways. So, and Susan has a theory here, which unfortunately I don't think that works because, let's see, how many people have commented? There's me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including Susan, I think, unless I got one in there twice. So maybe that's right, Susan, I don't know. But good guess. So any other questions about this part of the Finder functionality? So we're going to go on to the next part. And of course, you can ask any question about any part of this anytime. So we've talked a little bit about the view menu, how you can sort by kind, by date, by size. But let's talk about this nifty little feature here called Preview. Okay. So now we're over here on our computer, and let's go into, let's go into Downloads. Okay. And let's go into List View, the second section here. Okay, so there's this kind of black space over there. I wonder why that's there. Well, maybe if we go to the View menu, so we're at the very top of the screen in the menu bar, under View, we pop it down, and you see we have this little function here called Hide Preview. When we click on that, that black space goes away. We go back to View, drops down, and we click on Show Preview, and the reason there's nothing showing here is because we haven't selected anything. So let's just select this Install Set App, and there we're getting a preview in the list mode. So we're getting kind of the same idea as in the gallery mode, but to me at least it's less confusing in preview. So you can turn on preview in the list view and kind of get the best of both worlds. Again, you just go to View and you would turn on, you would show preview. Of course, because it's on, it says hide. That's just the way it works. So now if I go down through my downloads here, here's a file, a .dmg. I could get rid of that because it's served its purpose. Here's a different kind of file. Now sometimes the preview is not that interesting. Okay, but see, if it's a picture, then you get a preview of the picture. Of course, you could go here, but you see the picture is actually bigger here. If we go to another picture here, there's my friend. There's Choya Bay, I think. And yeah, well, that's not Choya Bay. Choya Bay is right out there. This is the harbor in Puerto Peñasco. Anyway, so I think you get the idea, is that you can add this preview to the list view, which makes it more functional and more gives you more information. Okay, so that is a very neat function, I think. So let's talk about the sidebar. So we've been talking about the sidebar because that's an integral part of the Finder. So in the sidebar, you have some different sections. The top section is favorites. Then you have the iCloud section, and you have the locations section. So here we are back on the screen, and we're in the sidebar. Now, this throws people sometimes accidentally as you're zipping around your screen, and you accidentally click here on favorites. And as you can see, when you put the cursor on top, also known as mousing over, you can hide that. And they say, ah, my favorites, they're gone. Where are they? Well, you just have to go up here, mouse over it again. Now it says show. Click on show. They're back. So these are your favorites. Now right now we've got our recents, we've got applications, and we've got downloads. The second section in our sidebar is iCloud. So we have iCloud Drive, we have desktop, we have documents. And then our third section here are locations. So the remote, let me move this again. We can make this bigger too, the same way we did the column. We move over to the line to the right of the sidebar. We get the horizontal line with the opposing arrows, and we can pull this over so we can see the whole thing. So remote disk, you hardly, if ever, use that. Don't worry about that. Here I have Roger's MacBook Pro on my network, so I could go in there and look at that. Then I could go to see other things on my network. So that's locations. If you had an external hard drive, you had a flash drive plugged in, all those things would show up here under locations. And then, as you can see, peeking at the bottom, you also have tags. We're not going to talk about tags today, but they're there if you want to differentiate things with colors by using tags. That would be, you could tag folders, for example. So that's what the sidebar does. And it, again, you can adjust it. If you're on a MacBook, you may want to make this very narrow so that you can have more room to show your files. I'm on a 32-inch monitor here, so it doesn't really matter that much. So let's see what we're talking about here. Okay, we have some comments. So Gretchen wants to know. Oh, hi Deb. Again, Gretchen wants to know, how did you get to the info window where you can choose how to sort? Okay, so that is actually just the Finder, the actual Finder window. So let's go back to the desktop here. So I'm assuming, are you talking about this window, Gretchen? So this is the view menu. Okay, I got to this by going to view and hide view options would make it go away. Go back up to view, show view options makes it appear. Is that the one you're talking about? Oh, actually what to sort. Okay. All right, thanks for clarifying that. So we can also, of course, close this by hitting the little red dot there. Okay, showing what to sort. So there's two ways to sort. Number one, in your regular Finder window, you can click here on these icons on the top. So that's icon view, list view, what do we call that one? I never use it, and gallery view. So, but if I go up here, it tells me column view. Okay, so two ways to do it. Under the view menu, three ways to do it. You can just hit command 1. So let's just do that. So we're on the gallery, which is command 4. So if I just click here, I do command 2, command 1, command 3, command 4, command 2. So three ways to move that around. Does that answer your question? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Any other questions here? So we are just really scratching the surface of the Finder. And I knew that once I got started here, there would be little rabbit holes that I would dive down into. So I did that, and thankfully I anticipated that. So I think we're going to wrap it up for today, but stay tuned because there will be more sessions on some other features of the Finder that we did not cover yet. Okay? Well, wait, there is one more that we're going to talk about today. So that is searching for files. Now this again is a function of Finder, and as most of you have heard me say, the most important tip that I'm ever going to give you is, oops, that's not it, is I'm trying to highlight this. I don't think I can highlight this because when I click my mouse, it changes slides, as you just noticed. So anyway, press Command plus the space bar to search with Spotlight. Again, a function of the Finder. And Spotlight does, in fact, index everything on your computer all the time. When you get a new computer, it takes maybe a day or so, or not a day, maybe 2 or 3 hours for Spotlight to index everything, so that's why it's slow to begin with. You can also go to that little magnifying glass, and when I mean say little, I mean little magnifying glass in the upper right in your menu bar, but it's a lot easier to hit Command space bar. The caveat here is that you have to hit the space bar in what we musicians, I'm not really a musician, call staccato. You mean you just tap it real quick, because if you hold down the space bar, Miss Siri will talk to you, and that's not what you want when you're trying to use Spotlight. Command space bar quickly. Now you also have Spotlight on your iPhone and iPad, and to do that you simply well, here, let's just show you how to do that since we happen to have an iPhone right here. So when you're on your your home screen, and let's see if I can get that. It's going to search on your home screen. Is this a rabbit hole? Search on your home screen. You simply put your finger in the center and swipe down. Okay, I can't do this. Okay, so like that. Hello? Oh, I see. I got the jiggling. Okay, I'm going to put this over here like that. And then up here, if you can see that, it says search. So you type in, when you tap on that, you get a keyboard and you can search. So Spotlight works on your iPhone and your iPad as well as on your Mac. So let's see what else we got here. So any other questions about this or anything else while we're waiting for your questions? If you'd like to support our YouTube Go for Lunch weekly sessions, we have set up a Buy Me a Coffee account. You go to buymeacoffee.com/Roger Harmon, and you can contribute to offset the expenses that we incur, because this stuff is not free. Okay, we're looking for some questions. Okay, so we'll wait a little bit longer. As always, have mask. We'll travel. We are still coming to you in person. We also can do screen shares. We're using these built-in screen share technology inside Messages from Apple, as well as Zoom, because sometimes Messages doesn't want to work. So we have had some success using Zoom to share your screen. So, thank you all for coming. We will see you next Tuesday, hopefully at noon for Go for Lunch, and at 7 for the paperless field guide presentation by David Sparks. So, have a good week and stay safe out there.